Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mama FIFA. Before I'm going to start my storytelling to my chosen story, I would like to introduce myself. I am Nathaniel V. Gualos, and I am from English 2B, and I'm going to start about my topic. The title of the story is The Adventures of AENEAS. The Aeneid, written by the Virgil during the reign of Augustus, celebrates Rome's imperial destiny by presenting Aeneas as a national hero and founder of the empire. So reflects the poem reflects the patriotic spirit of Virgil's time, aiming to glorify Rome's future and dominance. Virgil's shift from and a human portrayal of Aeneas to superhuman figure underscores Rome's grandeur, reflection of the Roman tendency for exaggeration. Virgil's Aeneid was written to celebrate Rome's destiny to become a great empire under Augustus by presenting Aeneas as heroic and almost divine. A divine founder, Virgil emphasizes Rome's strength and exceptionalism. This portrayal reflects the patriotic pride of his time and showcases Rome's ambition for future dominance. So, part 1, from Troy to Italy. Aeneas, the son of the goddess Venus, is one of Troy's greatest heroes. So, after the city's fall, he escaped with his father rather, and son. So, determined to fulfill a prophecy and establish a new homeland. Um, they were guided by dreams. He set sail with his followers, but faces numerous trials along the way. They encounter dangerous mythical creatures such as Harpies and Cyclops, and endure terrible storms steered by the goddess Juno, who despises the Trojans. After many trials, they reach Carthage, where Queen Dido welcomes them. Um, Thanks to Venus and Cupid's intervention, Dido falls deeply in love with Aeneas and lavishes him with kindness. Aeneas, though grateful for her generosity, is eventually reminded by Mercury of his fate to journey onwards to Italy. Um, Torn but determined, he prepares to leave. Heartbroken, Dido begs him to stay, but Aeneas departs in despair. Dido takes her own life, igniting a lasting enmity between her people and Aeneas' future descendants, the Romans. The tragic love story set the stage for Aeneas' continued journey towards founding that will become Rome. So Aeneas' journey from from Troy to Italy is a tale of duty and sacrifice. As he struggles through storms, um, from hostiles, creatures, and divine opposition, he embodies the heroic resilience needed to fulfill his fate. His love kinda tragic love and affair with Dido is in Carthage adds an emotional depth, showing the personal cost of destiny. Aeneas' choice to live despite his feelings to Dido, his commitment to a greater purpose, while Dido's death foreshadows the historic enmity between Carthage and Rome. This part of the story highlights the tension between personal desire and duty to a larger destiny. Yes, here are the important things to remember. The people, places, things. So the people, Aeneas, son of Venus and Trojan hero, destined to found the Roman lineage. So Venus, goddess of love, and Aeneas' mother, who aids and protects him. Um, Hector, he is a Trojan prince, to whom Aeneas was second only as a warrior. So Andromache, Hector's wife, now she was married to Trojan prophet Helenus. Helenus, Trojan prophet, now ruling with Andromache, who advises Aeneas to Aeneas, Dido, queen of Carthage, who falls in love with Aeneas, Juno, goddess of opposed to the Trojans, who tries to prevent Aeneas Aeneas from reaching Italy. So the next one is places. Troy, Aeneas' home city, destroyed in the Trojan War. Italy, Hesperia, the land destined for Aeneas and his followers. So Crete, an island where Aeneas and his followers briefly settled, and Sicily, an island where the Trojans encountered the Cyclops and the face storms. Carthage, Dido's city, where Aeneas and Dido meet and fall in love. Um, Alba Longa, the city founded by the Aeneas son, and eventually it was linked to the founding of Rome. So the next one is things. The harpies, mythical creature. It's a mythical creatures that drives Aeneas and his men away from an island. So the next one is the Cyclops. It's a monstrous giants on Sicily, including Polymeo Polyphemus. The storm, a tempest caused by Juno, through Ilus, nearly destroying the Trojans. Dido's gift, a beautiful cloak and sword given to Aeneas as tokens of love. The funeral fire, the structures Dido uses to take her life after Aeneas lived. Oh, sure. So those are the important things to remember in the part one, where entitled Italy, Trojan from to Italy.
Good day everyone, good day Mama FIFA. My name is Angeline Gaudiano and I will going to continue our report and we are still under chapter 4 entitled The AENEAS, and we're now down to part 2 of our chapter 4 entitled The Descendants into the Lower World. But the question is, who is our descendant? Our descendant is AENEAS, and AENEAS is the son of Venus, which is the Venus or Aphrodite. So, but before that, let us first know or get to know some characters of the story. First is AENEAS, the most important one, which he is the son of Venus or Aphrodite. Kumne, the woman of deep wisdom who can foretell the truth. Archises, the Achaenas or Achaenas' father, and Achates, the Achaenas' faithful friend who accompany him to his journey to to the cave. The journey from Carthage to the west coast of Italy was easy to compare to what we had gone before. A great loss, however, was the death of the trustworthy pilot Palinurus, who was drowned uh, as they neared the end of their perils by sea. So Aeneas had been told by the prophet Helenus as soon as he reached the Italian land to seek the cave of the Sibyl of Cumne. So during their journey from Carthage to Italy, Aeneas loses his faithful pilot named Palinurus, who drones just before they reach the Italian coast. So upon reaching the Italy, Aina seek out of Sibyl or of Cumne, a wise prophet who can foretell the future. She agrees to guide him to the underworld so he can speak with his deceased father Anchises, but warns of the difficulty in returning. So they will be going to discover or they will be going to the underworld. The Golden Bow. So to enter the underworld, Aeneas must first find a golden bow in the forest. So this golden bow now serves as like parang it serves as the key to enter the underworld. And so Aeneas is being guided by the dove sent by Venus. He locates the bow near Lake Avernus, a foul lake connected to the entrance of the underworld. 30 seconds. Um, Next, the descendant begins in a ritual sacrifice to Hecate goddess. So as you remember, Hecate is the goddess of the night. The Sibyl is the name of the cave, performs a fearsome ceremony after which she and Aeneas descend into the underworld. Crossing the rivers of the underworld. So they reach the river bank where spirits wait for Charon. So Charon is the both man who sends anyone from the real world who wants to cross the river to the underworld. So the ferryman to take the crumb across the river, Cocytus and Acherons, only those properly buried may cross. When Charon sees the golden bow, he allows Aeneas and the Sibyl to board. So at first, Charon first hesitated to allow this individual named Aeneas and his friend Achates to cross the river because only those who are dead who can cross or who can went to the underworld. But when he sees the golden bow, um, later on he allowed them to cross the river. So meeting the spirits of the dead on the other side, they pass the three-headed dog named Cerberus. Cerberus is a dog in one body with three heads, and this dog serves as the watchman in the underworld before crossing to the so after crossing the river you have to face first the Cerberus. You have to face first the three-headed dog. Next, whom they pacify with a piece of cake. So, despite of this size, the monstrous size and the monstrous size of the dog, they can as Aeneas recall the story of Psyche and Venus, they managed to surpass the Cerberus by giving them a piece of cake. So they meet many souls, including Dido. Dido is the lover of Aeneas in the fields of mourning, where souls of unhappy lovers reside. Aeneas grieves as she refuses to respond to him, remaining cold and distant. The road to the Elysian Fields. When the road splits, the Sibyl directs Aeneas to the right, away from the river of punishments and towards to the Elysian Fields, a paradise for the blessed dead. Here he finds his father Anchises, who is overjoyed to see him. The vision of Rome's futures Anchises shows Aeneas to the souls of future Romans, waiting by the river of Lethe. River of Lethe is the river of forgetfulness, to drink and forget their past lives before returning to the worlds above. He reveals Rome's future greatness and points out notable descendants including Romulus, Caesars, and others destined to shape history. So, before they leave this underworld or the river of the underworld, they have to first drink the water from the river of Lethe. And also, they are able to find his father and and able to fulfill their mission. Farewell and return, Anchises gives Aeneas guidance on establishing his home in Italy and enduring future hardships. Fathers and son part peacefully, knowing they will reunite someday. Aeneas and the Sibyl return to the surface and he resumes his journey to fulfill his destiny in Italy. So this passage highlights the guidance of Aeneas receives and the challenges of the underworld. At the end of this journey through the underworld, they are able to part ways once again with his fathers and establishing his home in Italy and enduring future hardships. Juno, still resentful of Aeneas, incites hostility among local tribes, Latins and Rutulians, against the Trojans. King Latinus, warned by his father spirit, is told to marry his daughter Lavinia to a foreigner destined to rule a great empire. He believes Aeneas is this man and welcome the Trojans. Queen Amata's resistance, Juno sends Alecto, who steers Queen Amata to oppose the marriage of Lavinia to Aeneas. Alecto instigates Turnus, Lavinia's favored suitor, against Aeneas, sparking a desire of war. Alecto influences Achaeus and Aeneas' son to kill a beloved pet stag of the locals, angering farmers and causing more conflict. Pressured by the Rutulian army and his queen, Latinus withdrew his support for Aeneas. Juno herself opens the gates of the temples of Janus, signifying the beginning of a war. So, Turnus gains support from powerful allies including Mezenthius, a brutal tyrant, and the warrior maiden Camilla, who is skilled in combat. The god of the Tiber River guides Aeneas to seek allies from King Evander and the Etruscans who despise Mezenthius. Nisus and Euryalus, two Trojans, embarks on a night mission to inform Aeneas of the camp's peril but are discovered and tragically killed. Aeneas returns with Etruscans' forces but intense and brutal battles follow. Both sides suffer losses including Camilla, Mezenthius, and Evander's son, Pallas. In a climactical duel, Aeneas killed Turnus, symbolizing the victory of fate and the Trojan destined to, to rise. In conclusion and legacy, founding of the Roman race, Aeneas marries Lavinia, laying the foundations for the Roman people who are destined to rule and establish peace and order across the world. So they are able to succeed in their war against the Turnus.
And that's all for our storytelling. And thank you for listening, Mama FIFA. And thank you also, guys, for comprehending.